My name is Gayle Keith. In the spring of 2002, my husband Floyd and I received a card saying, "Come and join us for church like you've never seen it before." We couldn't resist the invite. We showed up on Easter Sunday in all our finery, and don't you know, I wore the only heels and suit of all the women attending, and Floyd wore the only suit and tie. It was an eye-opening experience. When we left, I asked Floyd, "What did you think?" He replied, "I'd go back again." I agreed, and we continued to come back Sunday after Sunday. However, we did learn to dress down. Floyd and I married as teenagers. At the time of our marriage, Floyd was a Mormon, and I was a lifetime member of an evangelical Baptist church. We quickly agreed that we needed to find common ground. We joined a church and were members there for years, but we both eventually felt something was seriously lacking in our church experience. We'd leave the church doors feeling that we hadn't learned anything or that we weren't any closer to Jesus for having attended. Coming to Journey returned us to the Bible and to a closeness with God. We joined a small group and began a journey back to the Bible. Later, we attended Journey 101, 201, and 301 sessions. It was a growth process for us all the way. Through the services and the wonderful music, we began to feel the love of the Lord for everyone. We never missed a social event if we could possibly help it, and we had a blast every time we gathered together with our Journey Church friends. Baptisms and communion were especially meaningful events, but our greatest spiritual growth came largely in the small groups that we attended. The studies were inspiring, but we learned as much from the other group members as we did from the studies. Floyd began a spiritual seeking that changed him dramatically. In particular, he became convinced and in awe of the unending grace that our Lord offers to each of us. It was and is an emotional memory to think of his delight in and absolute wonder at the Lord's grace. He embraced his faith and became a changed man. It was so wonderful to see him talking with his friends about his faith and his church with no holding back. To say that our marriage bloomed in this time would be only brushing the surface. Oh, sure, we still disagreed and argued as most married folks do, but there was a new respect for each other and deepening of the love that we felt for each other. I never at any time in our marriage doubted that Floyd loved me and that he would do anything necessary to make our life better. But after he found this new closeness with God, the love that he felt for me was just different. That's the best I can say. Floyd believed that serving on the Journey Church management team was probably one of the most important roles he ever held. He undertook his responsibilities with a great deal of prayer and consideration, and he loved every minute that he served. Our prayer life became a living part of every day. Before joining Journey and experiencing this spiritual renewal, we prayed when times were bad, but now we prayed about everything. There were very few decisions made in our home without prayer. It was absolutely amazing to me to wake in the night to find Floyd on his knees beside the bed. When I asked him what he was praying about, his answer was usually, "Oh, just everything." So when he received the news in 2005 that Floyd needed heart bypass, there was no fear. We just prayed about it and went on. Then in 2007, the news that Floyd had lung cancer. That blow was a little harder to take, but with the Lord's grace and lots of prayer, we got through the initial surgery and then the radiation and chemo. When the cancer returned, Floyd met these challenges with a strong belief that God had a plan for his life and that it was his responsibility to do everything medically possible to beat the disease, but leave the ultimate result to the Lord. He was fully aware that God had him in his sight every minute. Floyd never gave up or considered any other option except to look for God in every day's journey. Our Journey family was with us throughout this difficult time. The cards, visits, prayers, phone calls, and love that came our way lifted us up again and again. I'm forever grateful to everyone at Journey Church who has helped us along this unknown path. At the end of his life, the peace Floyd had in going home was evident to anyone who talked with him. So, what Journey Church and our spiritual renewal meant for me was the chance to learn to love my husband just a little bit more, to admire his acceptance of the Lord's grace in everything that he did, and to visibly see God working in our lives and in the lives of many of the people who surrounded us. I was able to spend those last days with him in the certainty that he was just going ahead of me to a place that we can only imagine. But what I do imagine is that someday I will arrive and find Floyd waiting for me and praying about just everything.